Vineet, yeah,
Yes.
actually, I have raised one point on there. So,
Okay.
as a multi-country team, geographical team, we can deal in such a way. Because what I am feeling, so currently I am working with Japan, and there is a time difference, and mostly we are getting in India. Mostly we are getting outsourcing business. 70 to 80% we are dealing with the foreign countries. So in the same manner, means if we are dealing with 2 3 countries and the team is distributed, then in a broad scale, how we can understand the all the countries' cultural behaviors and to match their expectation as
So are we talking about Pritham, the cultural challenges or time
well.
zone
Yes,
differences?
yeah.
Culture. Okay.
So, so
Any
if we,
thoughts?
yeah.
So
So
anyone, any thoughts? How do we deal with cultural diversity nowadays?
See, first you have to be aware of the culture, right? You start with that. You should be aware of the other person's culture, from what background he's coming from, what is the right thing to do. So I think you start with that.
yeah,
Yeah.
my concern is that means if we are dealing with Japan on the
Yeah, I
development team
know.
is available in India and the other parties in US or they are merged in that same way. So there are three cultural mix up in that
Yeah,
particular team. So we know that Japan, so they are very punctual, time to bond. They
exactly.
want 100% accuracy. In the same manner, means in India means we are that much. We have that many reasons. So cultural, or we can say that geographical also there. So reaching to office, sometimes we are getting late, this and that time, responding to the mails and their the achievements. So the same thing happened with the US country. So match all these things. That is little bit challenge. In that case, what is your suggestion?
Okay, so I would like to add, maybe we will carry forward this topic also, if maybe a broader discussion later on, if
Yeah.
that helps you, Preetham. But I generally say two things. Either we have to be culturally sensitive or we have to be culturally neutral. Okay, so what we say is we have to co-create the culture where there are multiple cultural background together. We have to talk about it. Say, I am an American and I like to work this way, and I'm an Indian, I like to work this way. Let's come together to have a discussion on what kind of culture or ways of working we want to build. And if you look at it deeply, Preetham, agility as a philosophy is a cultural change.
Yes.
Scrum talks about values. So those values can bring the cultures together. For example, it's very simple. How do you even understand the value of Scrum called commitment? Because for some countries and cultures, I have seen commitment is only a dedication to do your best, but in India, commitment is taken as a promise of delivery, which are two different
Yes,
things, right?
yes,
In my
yes.
eyes, commitment in complex domain is not a promise, it's more about dedication. So
Dedication.
what I would like to suggest, Preetham, is whenever you see a team or teams potentially facing a cultural diversity, I would say a cultural workshop is a great idea,
Yes.
wherein we do a 1 2 hours brainstorming, come together and say, let's talk about our differences and let's talk about our cultural alignment from ways of working point of view. I
So
think this
one,
will be a great idea to begin. Rest is, things will evolve. You
one,
just need a common set of values to bind together. Yeah.
Yeah, one small example is just want to share in one or 2 minutes. Actually, when the sprint planning is going on, so what we have noticed that they are just planning as per their Japan calendar. So they are calculating their Japan holidays, etc. All these things. But the development offshore team is working in India, and the while the sprint calculation, so India holiday is not considered. So so India team sometimes they what we can say demotivation like that. So for example, tomorrow is the 26th India holiday, but no one is aware about that.
Yeah.
The Japan team. Yeah.
Well, I respect that point, Pritham, and I agree. This is Gail. As I said, we have to be sensitive to each other. for just like Thanksgiving is important for our American clients, Republic Day is
Yeah.
important for us. So I am sure if we talk about it well in advance, they will be aware. Like I have never worked with a client who made me work on a Diwali. To be very honest,
Yes.
I don't understand why some teams struggle. But every time I have had a festival, I would just let my customer know 2 months in advance, hey, November I will be gone for 2 weeks. And they
Yes.
are very sensitive. So
Yeah.
all I would say is maybe transparency could be lacking, or they are just not aware. See, we here do not know what are the holidays in Netherlands and America. All right.
Yep,
So
yep.
they also need to be told that, hey, 26th January is our national festival. So that on 26th plus Friday, which is 27th, we are going to be off. That's as simple as it can be, so that we can work together. So that's what I said. A cultural workshop, maybe a great idea would be to add your holiday calendar a little bit, saying these are the
Yes.
times of the year when we will be little less
Definitely.
staffed or something like that.
Yeah.
Transparency is the key, and respect to each other's culture is what is needed, is what I think. All right.
And then when it just to add here, right? So I think maybe not really from Scrum, but from some other framework, right? So one of the practices is make policies explicit, right? So I think that's very
Working
important.
agreement.
Yeah, exactly. So you should have working agreement, and that's really important because one, I was about to talk about that commitment, Vineet, right, as an example. So
That's a great
for example, if you're talking to somebody in Europe, if you have verbal commitment, they will take it as okay, this is carving in the stone. But if we are in India, probably we'll need an email to say that okay, I agree to it, for example. So we need a piece of paper, right? And what that commitment means, that needs to be explicit to all. And first commitment should be that we are all one team. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
from which different parts from the world we come, but yeah, end of the day we are one team and we have this team commitment, and make it explicit to everyone.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Making things explicitly gives blushes later on. So
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. Great. Great.